Hi there, welcome back to Lattes and More. Cindy Leader here. A little afternoon sun coming in. I'm excited to share this topic with you. It's been on my mind for a couple of weeks now, and you might have heard this in the news and even like the local news, not that you guys are out there watching Bloomberg or CNN or something like that, okay? Just on your local news, I have heard it. I'm talking about something called the Magnificent Seven. Very, very interesting. So what does it mean? Obviously, the seven has something to do, magnificent has something to do with it. But where did the term come from? What does it mean? So the Magnificent Seven was a Western, a cowboy movie from the 60s, right? And I've always thought recently that maybe a nice snowy Sunday afternoon here in New England, I would just watch it because I would probably enjoy it. But, these were some men, taking matters into their own hands, but, for the civilians who could not do it, and making things right. Um, Showing their dominance, right? So this is what it has to do with the dominance. Where did this name come from? There was an analyst at Bank of America. His last name was Harnett. What was his doing some research? First name was Michael Barnett. Last year, 2023, he coined this phrase in regard to the seven biggest power dominating stocks in the market in 2023. That's where it came from. And since then, there's been so many shifts, but I want to go back and then I want to go forward and tell you all about it. So who are these stocks? What are they? Where do they sit? Who's watching them? Who's trading them? And why should you watch them? Let's cover all of that. So quickly, let me go and grab one thing for you and we will talk about it for sure. So the Magnificent Seven, here they are. Do you recognize some of those symbols? Some of them are very, very recognizable. There might be just a couple that are not. Obviously, Apple is one of them. Tesla is one of them. Google, Microsoft, Amazon. This is Meta, previously known as Facebook. This one right here, this little infinity kind of thing, almost looks like a mask. And this is NVIDIA. Okay. So these are, chip maker. These are all the movers and shakers on the S&P 500 index, the top 500 companies. Okay, but the thing that makes it different with these seven is that they're the ones who have been skyrocketing the power of the S&P 500. And if you're a trader, if you're an indice trader like myself, maybe you're just trading the Dow Jones, maybe you're just trading the SPX, maybe you're trading the NASDAQ, maybe you're trading all three because you love them so much. It's really the S&P that carries the weight that's driven by these seven stocks. Okay. So let's continue. Let's just take a quick look at the S&P, SPX, as I call it. This is a monthly chart, right? These are monthly candles. Let's just give it a good visual markup for 2023. So here's the growth right here. Well on its way up and still going, by the way. Last year and so far this year. Here's our January month and here's February so far. We're halfway through February 2024 as I record this video. So what is going on? What's making this go up 23%? Let me make sure I have that figure right. Oh, I have that figure wrong. The Magnificent Seven increased the S&P by 37% last year. All the other stocks, the remaining stocks in the S&P 500 were down 2.3% last year. So we are totally being driven by those 7 stocks. Now, the really interesting thing, and let me go back to history a little bit more. Let me just bring up my little research here. So why was that? What's the big deal with these companies? Well, the big deal with Google and Amazon and Apple and Meta and Nvidia and Tesla and Microsoft, here's what's important about them. First of all, everybody knows their name. Children know their names, you know. So if that tells you something, they're world renowned, right? These companies. But for a reason, okay? They're top in technology innovation, right? You know, we all know, we all know about our smartphones. And this gives them market dominance. They're like on the cutting edge, right? Their financial performance is top notch. They run their companies very well. You know, they've had some of them have had layoffs recently. But overall they manage their financial portfolio very, very well. They've got brand equity. They lead in research and development, and you know they really literally affect global economic conditions. They run us. You cannot wait. You know, if you have to wait 2 days for that Amazon package, you're going crazy. If you don't have the newest iPhone, you know, you want your computers to work, your EVs to work. Man, they're such powerhouses that it's even unfathomable to get that part. Okay. Um, so these stocks bring a lot of attention to themselves. Let's just quickly go to bring up Tesla. Were we like not in? Were we not in SPX? Oh, we were. Okay. Just clicked out of it for some reason. Let's go look at Tesla. Now Tesla has had a little downfall recently. Here was all of last year. Now we're kind of gone stagnant. We'll talk about Tesla and where they are. Let's go look at Apple. About, or we look at Meta. Let's look at Meta. Okay. Meta's kind of cool. I actually own some Meta. I'm really happy about that. This last year, yeah, it's almost like clockwork. Here we go. Boom. Meta's on fire. Meta's on fire, getting in more and more into AI technology. But if you go back and look, come on now. This was, yep, mid 2021, and we've just been on fire since then. Okay, one of the leading companies. What about, did we look at Apple? Let's look at Apple really quick. Yeah, okay. Same thing. These guys are leading the S&P. They have such dominance in the market. So if you had bought into an S&P index and held it, man, you would have been on fire. And I don't think there's any slowing down on these companies, honestly. There's no slowing them down. But here are some of the changes that have occurred. Hold on one second. So back in, got my old research here. Back in 2013, the acronym applied to some of these companies, and at the time it was only 5 of them. And they were Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, 2013. Okay, I can see that. Netflix was on fire, right? And Google. So that acronym is called FAANG, FAANG. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. So then what happened? Two things happened to FAANG. Okay, this was really fun for me to research. In 2015, Google was now renamed Alphabet. So there goes the N in FAANG. And in 2001, I still call it Facebook. I literally just asked my Alexa what the Facebook stock price was. Facebook became Meta, right? And I think I don't really even know too many people, especially on social media. We still call it, we still call it Meta. I mean, we still call it Facebook. So Facebook changed to Meta. So now there goes the F and FAANG. So now those could be called Mama. They call it Mama. M Meta, A Amazon, M Microsoft. Welcome Microsoft. A Apple, and A for Alphabet, which acquired Google. So Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Alphabet. Okay, so that's the new acronym, MAMA. But also recently, just last month, January 2023, Tesla slipped off the block. Just slipped off the block. I remember I watched Jim Cramer on Mad Money, and he was talking about Tesla. Very interesting. If you Google it, there's this like 2-minute thing. And someone coined the phrase, the Super Six. Maybe now it's the Super Six, now that Tesla is gone. So, like I said, let me get rid of these drawings, some kind of training or something that was going on here. You can see Tesla had this slip the end of last year. Yeah, I won't get into all the stuff behind it, but Hertz had, I want to say in December, Hertz announced like they bought a huge fleet for rental vehicles and people weren't renting them. Like, do you want an EV? No. Actually, I don't think I would take an EV. I wouldn't know how to use it, charge it. I'd worry about, is it still charged? Is it, we're just, I don't know. Anyway, so Tesla has slipped from the Magnificent Seven. What were those figures? All of those companies are making profits in the trillions. Not Tesla anymore. I forget the number. Did I write it down? I thought I wrote it down somewhere. They're not making trillions anymore. So they slipped off the block. But you want to watch these companies. Who's watching these companies? Clay Coleman, Smith, Ackman, Warren Buffett. They're all watching and purchasing, selling, purchasing these stocks. Who did I just see? I don't know if it was Ackman or I took all these side notes and now I can't find them. I apologize. Someone owned, I guess it was Facebook. One of the big whales owned, yeah, it was 8 trillion, like 2 trillion shares of, where is it? Hold on 1 second. This is it? This is it. Hold on. Chase Coleman, I called him Clay. Chase Coleman of Tiger Global Management holds this Facebook? Yeah, Meta. 18%, almost 19% of his portfolio. The value of that, these numbers blow me away. I have some Meta stock. I would tell you I have 60 shares of Meta stock. This guy has over almost 7.5 million shares. Thank you, Chase. Worth $2.6 billion. Mine's in the 5 figures, but it's not 2.6. Lord, these people are running the show. They have the purchasing power, they have the selling power. It's important to watch these companies, my friends. Super important to watch these companies. I'm telling you. Uh, things are happening. Oh, that did share. I didn't realize that that shared. Okay. So I'm going to stop that share. So that's what I want to tell you about Magnificent Seven. It's changing all the time. I kind of like Super Six. I don't like the mama thing. I don't care for that. But these are all big tech stocks, right? And will their dominance continue into 2024? I feel like they will. Most of them, I feel like they will. Um, again, S&P was way up last year. And yeah, the other thing that drove them is that they're part of digital, this is my other note, part of digital networks, okay, which includes things like routers and managing the platforms and servers and gateways that we're all on that we don't really understand. I don't really understand, but we're all on them, aka social media. So these companies are here to stay. Here to stay. Where would we be without Amazon? Come on. I haven't ordered anything today, but I think every other day I'm ordering from Amazon. So I want to share that. The Magnificent Seven, kind of cool, to hear about, kind of cool to think about. Um, Power to the people. Stay woke, you guys, and understand what's going on with these businesses because it will affect you and especially affect you as a trader. Any more info, and I might do an update, possibly on my YouTube, Lattes and More. Maybe I'll do a free update as that changes because that'd be kind of exciting. Guys, guess what? Guess what it's called now? Guess who's part of it? I would like to do that for you. So thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video.